coming. So lovely to meet you. So what can you tell us about Yardie for people who haven't seen the film yet and your character's role within it?
So Yardie is really a film about a young man who witnessed the death of his brother and goes through life basically trying to avenge his brother's death. He ends up coming to London where he comes upon his young love, Yvonne, and meets his daughter for the first time and finds out that the person who killed his brother is actually in London. And so while there, he's trying to battle, trying to avenge his brother's death or staying with this newfound family. And my character, Yvonne, is basically the homemaker, the nurturer, and trying to reel him in. Someone going through trauma most of the times just needs someone grounded to reel them in, and that was my role.
And how did you prepare for the role? Were you familiar with the book? It was obviously a bit of a cult classic in the 90s, or did you have to do much research?
I wasn't familiar with the book. Of course, living in Jamaica, I was aware of what happened in the 80s and 90s, even though I wasn't born at that time. We talk about it. My parents, people around the community would talk about what happened in that time. So I knew a little bit of it. When I got to London, actually, I got the book and I was reading the book. But I started preparation very early with Amel. We were sending emails as the characters before I even got to London. So by the time I got here, the characters were already familiar. It was just like for Shantol and Amel to get familiar. And Idris, we did a lot of rehearsals going forward. He wanted the film to be as authentic as possible. So we'd read through the script and he'd be like, would you say this that way? And I had the ability to say yes or no, and he would adjust it because he wanted it to be as authentic as possible. So my language, mannerisms, everything was authentic. I appreciated that.
And what do you think the importance of having this story on the big screen is? Obviously, it's great to have Jamaican culture in London on the big screen. It's also exploring issues of how we identify ourselves, things like that. So how important do you think it is?
Sorry?
How important do you think it is to have this film on the big screen?
I think it's very important, mainly because most of the Jamaican films are depicted a particular way. And even though this is a gangster film, which is what we're used to seeing, it's also a love story. So I appreciate that. The characters are very humanized, and it's just refreshing to see that kind of story coming out of the Caribbean. And London is, like, I had a culture shock when I got here because I didn't know how Jamaicanized or how Caribbean the city was. And so I went to a party once and I just stood there like, whoa, this type of music was playing and everybody was dancing and vibing. So I think Londoners especially, because London is really pretty much made up of immigrants, the Caribbean and Africa. And so I think they'll just appreciate seeing their culture being represented. Jamaica, of course, will appreciate seeing the culture represented well and seeing our landscape. I'm excited.
And somebody's been Idris, who's been driving this project from the start and obviously been working with him on set. So how do you view him?
Idris is like the coolest person alive, and I'm not just saying that. He really is very cool. As a director, he knew exactly what he wanted. And we did a lot of preparation, a lot of rehearsals going forward. So when we got on set, we knew what was expected. He could say, yes, do this. This is what I want to see. But also because he's a brilliant actor, he appreciates the actor's process. And so we had the ability to do what felt natural in the moment. And I think that I appreciated. It was so amazing. And so going into editing, he had several options.
And are you hoping to see him in the next James Bond movie?
If he's in it, I'm gonna go and watch it. If he's not, I'm still gonna go watch it. I love James Bond movies. But I mean, if he's there, I'd love it, I'd appreciate it. But it's fine either way. I think he's fine either way. Yeah.
All right, fantastic. Thanks so much for your time. Lovely to meet you.
Thank you too.
Thanks.